What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Detroit Love, with another video. Welcome, everybody. I have a gentleman backstage. I think you all know. I'm going to bring him on up. And let's sort this out. What up, Michael B?
What's happening, Carl?
Man, it's a wonderful day. Wonderful day. How you doing, brother?
I am doing good, man. I am impressed. Your thumbnail was on point. Opening video ready. You are killing it, brother.
Look, man, I learned from the best.
P-dubs.
all of you guys, man, it's helping groom me. Let me just say hello to a few people in the chat. I see Paul. What's going on, Paul? Paul's always here to support me. I appreciate you, brother. BA is in the house. Hello. Who is that? JT. Hello. David Deming. What's going on? Big D. Thank you, sir. All right, we're going to get started here. Third floor arcade with Jason's in the house.
Between one fern. You've got to refer to him that way.
What's going on, everybody? So CES is going on, Michael B.
I thought it started tomorrow. I was shocked.
Yeah, well, it's going. They're getting out the pre-releases. They want to get the news out. They want to let everybody know what's going to be going on in Las Vegas. Are you going out to Las Vegas?
No, I'm not going. We had talked about it all the way after we did our September trip. We were feeling a little homesick for each other. We loved each other. We loved our time together. So we talked about doing another trip, and we talked about doing CES. But the difference between CES and Chicago was where it was still considered the holidays. I would have to travel today, and the flight, even all the way back in October, was like $1,500 US one way for me. So I wasn't going to pay $3,000 for tickets to go to CES. A couple of our friends are going though. Justin and B Kong are going to be there.
Yeah, so definitely keep you guys. Make sure you subscribe to Justin and B Kong and hit the notifications so that you get hot news right off the press, right from the floors of Las Vegas, from the Consumer Electronics Show. It's not really known for gaming, though. From time to time, people want to make their presence known there.
So, Deputy Van Halen, it's good to see you. I've missed your They Live avatar for a long time now, and I did get the hat. It was free, but it was actually not from Arcade1up. We met a guy in Chicago named Ezekiel Fuentes, and I'm doxing him now, but he's on YouTube, Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger. And when we got there, he had these handcrafted, personally made for all of us, myself, P-Dubs, 19K Fox, and console kits. And I don't know if he had one for anybody else, but this was a gift from him when we got there. So that's how I got the hat.
Yeah, you guys had a blast in Chicago. I sure
Loved
hate
it,
that I
yeah.
didn't make it. I sure hate that I didn't make it. I was in Columbus at the time.
I know. We wanted you to come. We were pushing.
Yeah, if it could have been done, I definitely would have done it. Is Arcade1up going to have space on the floor? I would imagine they're going to have some type of presence there. I don't think it's going to be a huge thing. I don't think we're going to see like a 70-foot KI Pro or anything there. So.
No, I don't know if they're going to have a physical presence on the floor. I haven't heard anything about it, but the only person I've talked to that might have a connection was Justin Console Kits, and he said that he wasn't sure either. I think Arcade1up is going to be there, but I don't know if they're going to have a booth this year. I think they're more so on. They're actually on the buying side, maybe looking for new component parts, stuff to help them build and grow their business.
Yeah, and now it's appropriate that they're in Vegas when they're going to be producing a product that's sort of gambling related, right?
Yeah,
So let's just start taking a look at what they got out here. Now, do you have the infinity table, Michael
I
D?
do. I do. I bought it this past year. The brick here in Canada cleared out the 24-inch and put them on sale. At the time, it was only $200 off. And I said, these never go on sale. So I kind of jumped at the opportunity. I wish I had waited because over Christmas, the 32-inch went on sale for $200 off. So I could have got the same discount. But I mean, that price point was still so high. Here in Canada, it's $9.99 for the Infinity game table. 32 and it was $7.99 for the 24. I got the 24-inch for $5.99, which is still crazy, but I really thought me and my daughter would have a lot of fun with it, which we have. I was interested to see this, that they're making a portable version today. I thought of you immediately, Detroit Love, because I was like, they got a battery in it. I'm sure there's a handle.
And we love these games. It's just for me, it didn't make sense for me to get that
No,
table. You know,
no.
I have no room for that table. There's nowhere for that thing to go. But me and my family, I got girls, and they at the in the house. I got boys. It's over in Canada, but and they're grown. Well, they're all grown now, but the girls are the youngest. But we play a lot of board games. You know, Uno's one of the things we definitely play a lot of. You know, it's a hassle to go down and get the boards right and then you got to put it back up afterwards. And you know what I mean, it's this is a great idea for people that love the games, but the table it just required its own dedicated space.
Yeah.
This thing here makes a whole lot of sense to me. I'm just wondering if it's going to be priced correctly so that I can pick this thing up. You know, this is something I can pull out when I need, and the wife don't even have to know it's here, but I will have to tell her though, since we have this new agreement.
Yeah, I've got a new agreement too. Don't buy anything or you're dead. So yeah, the Infinity game table. I think this one they mentioned was going to be sub $500, so like $499 for the portable version. It's got an 18.5-inch screen, I think. I thought one of the big barriers to people picking up this table was the price point for the two versions that were out before. And I have the 24-inch, and man, the bezel on that is thick. So everybody was getting the 32-inch. It was big. It had an appropriate bezel. This looks really good. It's just a question again of, are people going to be happy with the price point, and is there use for this? It's a giant iPad basically that lets you play a bunch of games, but there's other ways to play it. I like the product. I think it's cool. I just don't know if it's for everybody, right? It's cool for families, younger families. Like my daughter plays on it all the time. She's either playing the memory games on it. I had my father-in-law over. He's a big chess guy. We played chess on it one night. So there's lots of cool stuff to do. I like it, but I mean, there's other ways to play these games too, right?
Absolutely. What's going on, Justin? Welcome to
What's
the
up, man?
stream. Yeah, this will definitely free up your phone. You know, kids when they're younger like that, they always want to have one of the parents' phones and hog that up and want to play games on it. Definitely a much better solution where you can give them their space and give them their device to play. But again, it's designed for families to be able to play together primarily. I like the idea. Justin, what do you think about this Infinity game board
It's really
as
all about
opposed to
that
a table?
price. Even when the table came down on price, and I don't think I've seen one of these in person, so I can't really comment on it. But I always thought, like, if I want to play with my family, I would probably just put it on our dining room table, right? It wouldn't be on a stand. It would just be something. And I have been waiting for a smaller version at a cheaper price. So this could be um something for me. It depends on what that price is going to be, because if depending on what this enters the market at, I mean, is that going to lower the price of the 24 and the 32? So then I got to evaluate, like, among the three options, which one would be the best? Because at that high price, it wasn't for me, but now that they're all kind of lowering, now it's opening it up. And we own a lot of board games. So it's one of those things where I talked to my wife about it, and she was like, "If you want to play some board games, we have all of them."
Yeah,
So
it's something about getting the board games, getting the Monopoly, counting out the cash, right? You know what I mean? If you're playing Uno, you slapping those cards down on the table.
yeah,
Reverse the draw two,
yeah,
especially in a smack talk family like myself. But there's
right,
definitely a time and place for something like this. But like you said, the price has to be right for this. Now, granted, like Michael B said, it is a tablet essentially, right? So it's obviously a cost factor for that, minus any furniture cost that would come in and design costs for making a table. This obviously should be cheaper, but I wouldn't expect a drastic price because you still have these electronics that has to be the core of this system.
yeah. I'm looking at that, and remember earlier, we were talking about if we could hack the site and see what the price was. And so on Arcade1up's website, when it comes to the Infinity Game Table, there's a couple properties in the code that at least the placeholder price says 4.99. That's what it says.
Okay. Now, how's that compared to the two tables?
Well, some of them went down in discount even below 4.99, right? In the recent price drops.
Okay.
I haven't been fully tracking it, but
Well, I think a lot of people have gotten burnt with pre-orders, right? On products,
yeah.
uh, trying to be the first one out the door. If it goes to retailers, they obviously have some discretion on what they're going to charge. Now, have these do the tables sell at retailers, or are they directly from Arcade1up exclusively?
The Infinity Game Table you're talking about?
Yes, the table, yes.
Yeah, that I believe. I don't know about the U.S., but here in Canada, it does still sell through retailers. All the major retailers are currently carrying the 32-inch, but the 24-inch has long since been discontinued at retailers here in Canada.
Okay. So obviously, again, if it gets to retailers, they have some discretion, especially someone like a Sam's Club where they can deeply discount things just to get people to come in the door. But it'd be interesting to see what happens. I definitely have an interest in this. Uh, the price is definitely going to decide whether I can do
Yeah.
anything with that. Now this is we saw some rumors of this or some leaks or whatever you want to call it previously on this idea of the Casinocade. I don't recall a whole lot of people being too excited about it. I definitely buy into it because I know my wife. These are the type of games that she likes to play. She likes to go to the casino and play, the slots and things like that. We do have a pachinko machine in the
Hmm.
back here that makes a lot of noise and just adds to the ambience of the game room. It's not quite a slot machine, so it doesn't work exactly the same way. So I think that's a little off-putting to her. But the coins sliding through the box and hoping for that jackpot is just something that people that who enjoy that does that. Obviously, you don't have any coins with this electronic version, um, but it's got what 20 games or so on it that they're going to be releasing, and but they're hoping to hit it big with the nostalgic factor of Wheel of Fortune, right? And no matter what age you are, you've heard of, played, watched this on TV for a couple of decades, I'd imagine.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you, Detroit Love. I got a big problem with this product. I think the screens in them are much too large. They should have went with a smaller screen. Like people are going to, have to stand back because they're going to be too close to these giant screens. It's rough.
Well, I mean, just look at this image here. Obviously, the where the puzzle is part of the screen. So is this screen really 19-inch and they just got all this extra
No,
fluff around the
so
screen?
so there's two screens. There's an 8-inch and a 10.5, I believe, are the dimensions, Justin.
Yeah. So if you go to the Arcade1up website, if you hit that drop down product details, you will see the information on it. And I'm trying to
Sorry.
pull it up right now.
Okay.
Um,
You're gonna share
according
your
to the
screen.
source code, it's $5.99 for this Casinocade. Yeah. Let
You
me let
know,
me pull up the exact dimensions. Now, I honestly don't know if the prices that are in the code are accurate,
Accurate. Yeah.
because my guess is they put out they put out the product. It says sold out. That's just a weakness in their e-commerce website. It doesn't have an idea of coming soon, or they need to add that feature, and they just never did. And they're not revealing the prices because they're still negotiating the prices
Right.
with the retailers. So
Right.
they may say the suggested, MSRP is $5.99, and then Walmart comes along and goes, "No, we think it's $4.99, and we're going to buy them at this price, and we're going to buy 20,000 of them. How's that sound?" And Arcade
Right.
One Up goes, "Okay."
Works for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, for most people know the CES is designed to get to the buyers, to introduce your products to people, to get the word out. Usually, some of these things don't even come to market, right? When they come to CES, sometimes they're years away, months away, but you're trying to get in front of people that will be interested, right?
Well, let's be clear
Mhm.
here. Anything that's been announced today by Arcade1up, that's final. That will come out. The Arcade1up will bring that out. This has already been passed by retailers. They already have a commitment in place to do this, or else they wouldn't have told us. Or else they would have drove like this funny like bus or van there with all this illicit product in the back and got people to sneaky come in and look at it and say,
Or
"Hey,
John
would
D
you
would
buy
have
that?"
logged into his alt account and posted something on Facebook and said it was a
Yeah,
leak.
yeah. I thought that was David McIntosh.
Could be him too. He is the head of retail now. So it's
Welcome,
the
Big
top
Kong.
the top screen is 8 inches and the bottom screen is 10.1. What's up, B?
So it's a 10. So the lower one, 10.1 vertical
Mhm.
screen, apparently looks like.
No,
Because that,
no.
because are you
Do
saying
you
that the puzzle part has to be a part of the screen?
No, no, I don't think
That's just a
so.
drawing.
Do you see the square gold?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
That's the game.
Oh, that's kind of
All the
weird.
way in the center, because if you see if you look closely, inside that gold box, you'll see at the bottom it says like leaderboards. There's a button on the left that says settings, and there's a button on the right that says leaderboards, and there's a game selection in the center.
Okay.
That's all in that all those coins that are
That rectangle.
floating.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and the puzzle, that's all bezel.
Okay, so it's a huge
Yeah, it's a
bezel.
big bezel.
Yeah, it's basically the Dragon's Lair bezel, except the no alphanumeric screen. It's got the 8-inch screen in it.
Right. You just don't have to bring your own phone, huh?
The
Well,
only the upside is you're going to be standing 2 inches from this machine, so
yeah,
maybe it'll be okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, if you take a look, there's a foot pedal there because it's so narrow. If you don't stand on it, it's just going to fly around the room.
Well, the first time I saw this, I said, well, this is probably going to be the first time you actually have to use that wall anchor.
Yeah.
It comes with all of the products that we never use. We just throw in the base of it. But okay, now so let's think about something that's similar to this. I haven't seen them in years. I know I used to see them a lot over in Canada at the bars. They would have these bar top casino games that you could
Mega
play.
touch.
Yeah, I don't recall. It's been so long, and I think you used to have to pay money for it, right? You put in so much money, and then you can sit here and play these games while you're drinking your drink.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
This is coinless operation.
Well, right. We know it's coinless, but I'm saying that's the concept of it. That little machine that you could play those. It used to be like poker, draw
Yeah.
poker, all
Hmm.
these little things on there. Uh, In comparison to a device like that, this screen I would think is pretty comparable for the people that play those type of devices at a
That's
bar,
an interesting
a
take.
bar top, because essentially it's a bar top on a riser, on a stand, or on a base, right? Um, I would imagine if you wanted, if you had a bar and you wanted to, you could doing the assembly, you can probably not put the riser together and
Yeah,
utilize
it
that way. But it's
it
essentially a
looks like
bar
that
top,
sits on the riser, right? There's a little space kind of in the photograph. It almost looks like they're showing you this is where the separation is for that base.
right?
And yeah, I have an old Mega Touch. It's kind of cool. It has a PC in it, like you can open it up and it has like an old Dell in it or something. Um, yeah, that screen on it, I want to say it's not 17 inches. It's smaller than that. I want to say it's like a 12 or 15.
Well, I think Michael said it was 10, right? 10 point
Oh,
something.
on this is 10.5, but
Yeah,
what
I'm
Justin's
referring to the
Oh, you
Mega
talk about
Touch you
the
were
Mega
talking
Touch. I
about.
got
That's
you.
in,
I got you.
you're talking about an old one that's kind of big, CRT heavy, puts coins in it, can play
Right.
poker on it, sits
Right.
on a Yeah, I think those are the brand is Mega Touch that's really popular.
Okay. And PA saying that that's a touch screen, or I hit the wrong one. The mega touch obviously it was a touch screen.
Right. And then
And
this
what
is
you
a
have.
touch screen too.
Oh, is it? Okay, I wasn't
Yeah,
aware of
that
that.
10-inch screen's a touch screen.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the biggest, I think, a reason why it's so small. Maybe that they couldn't get a bigger size touchscreen that was going to do all the things they wanted to. I do think it's a really big miss in having the touchscreen, but at that small size. I think the look of it is just going to be, uh, it's like a countercade screen, right? Aren't the countercades a 10.1 screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and you're putting it in a form factor that's designed for a bezel with 17 inches at the very least. And you could almost, if you, not that anybody would do this, if you gutted that area, you could fit up to a 19 to 20 inch screen in that space. But the only thing that's interesting though, that's a 16.9 10-inch screen. Is it not, Justin? That's not
I don't know.
just from the picture, right? It's not a square. It's not a
Well,
5.4 or 4.3.
I went into Photoshop and I did a square and then I did the math and it wasn't either 16:9 or 5:4. It was like, I don't know how accurate it was, but I took that
Yeah.
screen and it said it
Mhm.
was I think it was a 5:3
Oh, that's weird.
is what the math
It's
came out
even more
to.
weird. Okay.
So I don't know.
Well,
I
I
think
was
it's
saying
probably some tablet aspect ratio that
yeah, I would have if I think if they did like a 15-inch monitor that was touchscreen, like if it was slightly smaller but it had touchscreen capability, that I think that would have been a nice compromise. A 10-inch, I think, is just way too small for the real estate of what they're trying to do.
So, do you
Counterkit
guys,
has an 8-inch screen. It's good to
do
know.
you guys remember when BlackBerry was still trying to remain relevant, and they came out with their own pad, like the BlackBerry Pad? I forget what it was called. Do you know what I'm talking about?
it was their last year, right? The
last
year
year.
where then I mean they died like years
Yeah.
later, but yeah.
I had one. I bought it on clearance. So, anyways, I think that's what this screen is. It's the old repurposed BlackBerry ripoff iPad. They just found a bunch of them.
Well, I think this would probably change your mind and your excitement level right here.
Thanks for bringing that up, B.
I
Well,
know.
I mean,
I was like,
did
right
that
after I
change your
finished my
excitement
screen.
level? I mean, and nostalgia showed up and it got exciting all at one time.
I can only handle so much excitement, and when nostalgia showed up, I climaxed. So
It's a
there was
different
stuff
design
that.
though, from the B-roll to this one. If you look at the side panels in the B-roll, it was like angled, and this is like straight, right? Did I just
No, it's
let's-
angled on the photo
Let's
too.
roll it again.
no like the B-roll? It's a different curved design.
Okay, let's check it out.
You tell me when to pause. B.
America's favorite game show.
Not this angle, but
Okay.
and then lots of things. See how the side right there?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, too much.
It's not as square. It's like
Yeah.
there's a slant to it right there. See?
Yep.
Look, and then look at the other picture.
Yeah, you're right.
This one here.
It's kind of got that like Pac-Man-esque type of.
Right.
Yeah, like it's recessed
Curve to
into
it.
it. And then the
Well, I
other
want to get
render
one
is
now.
just-
Did that
This is
change?
straight.
Did that change your
No.
mind? Right. Yeah. This the other way looks a little better than
Yeah.
than this.
You think
design here.
you like the B-roll version?
Yeah, I do.
I think John D's right. This wasn't made for us.
No, this was absolutely not made for you guys.
But it's made for your game room.
See, that's
Just
the
not for
thing.
you.
That's
You make a
exactly
really
right.
good point.
Yeah.
That's why people are upset because they want it in their game room, even though we're not the target audience that they'll probably sell the most to.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at it like this. If we just look at Justin, you've been doing a lot of game room tours, right?
Mhm.
People have popcorn machines in there. They have gumball machines. Some people have an
Point.
M&M coin. The little put your quarter in, get some candy. You know, all that stuff is never going to be for everybody that comes here. Everybody doesn't want popcorn. Everybody doesn't want gumballs. Everybody don't want to watch the TV in your room. Everybody don't want to play the console. You know what I mean? A game room is about having enough stuff that people are excited to come into your game room, right? People of all ages, different sizes, different demographics. You want them to enjoy your room, not just come in and just play the one boring thing you want to play, right? I mean, that's the ideal, I think, with having a
Yeah.
successful game room anyway, is having something that's let's take Michael B's buddy, and I'm not saying anything bad about it, but he's got the buddy that's got all IRKs, right? You go into his game room, and I haven't seen the game room, but I'm just imagining all IRKs is pretty one dimensional, right?
Oh yeah.
Is you either like IRKs or what the heck am I doing here if you don't, right? So that's a contrast of one person's envision of a game room versus another person's game room that has all these offerings that if you have enough to offer, then most likely you can meet someone's need when they're coming down there. Your mother-in-law, she's coming down there. She's not playing, Mortal Kombat, but maybe she'll play some Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, Carl, I think you knocked it directly on the head. I mean, this is meant to reach out to a different demographic and maybe touch on people that normally wouldn't buy arcade cabinets, but introduce them to the brand so you can expand your market base. And the other thing too is, I don't know what your guys' wives are like, but like it's like pulling teeth, me trying to get my wife to come down to the arcade to play something. Like I really struggle with finding something she'll play. Now, my wife's not much of a gambler. I don't know if this would appeal to her, but I'm sure there's lots of wives or partners or husbands. I'm not trying to be sexist there, but partners that might not be interested necessarily in arcade gaming, but maybe they'll spend some time down with their partner in the arcade if they have something like this too, that's bright and colorful and addictive to play.
I'll go ahead and say it, man. This is massively more interesting to the female demographic than this is to males.
Yeah, but what is a woman?
That's a damn good question. but what I'm trying to say is like this is slots in general have such mass appeal, like enormously mass appeal. So the idea that this isn't something that's going to fit into your home arcade, I don't buy that. I think this is exactly the type of thing you put into your home arcade, so that way you can make sure almost everybody who comes to check it out is like, oh, that's cool, or maybe they're into the arcades or they're into this. I think this is a good move from Arcade1up. I think it fits in perfectly with kind of what they're trying to do here.
I think I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think it expands the demographics. I think for people like Michael B, P Dubs that are expanding beyond their game room, I think I think a device like this helps to do that.
Yeah,
It's like, I like this game. I like this game, but I don't want to keep going down the stairs all the time. Bring that one up there into the family room, because grandma's gonna play it when she comes anyway. And then you got that there. Then all of a sudden, there's a Killer Instinct Pro next to it in a couple of months afterwards.
So here's a question for you. So it says the games list. Have you got to the game? I'm not sure if games list is on your agenda.
No, I don't have the games list shown.
Okay, so on the website they have a games list. It's 25 games. But here's a question. It says 4 premium Wheel of Fortune slot games and over 21 unlockable games built in. What does that mean?
I can tell you exactly what that means. It says it right in the picture that we're looking at. Do you see it or no? If you take a look, see where the second monitor
collect
in between the two
more
speakers?
gems to get more games.
100%. So you collect in-game currency, like their in-game currency is the gems. And then once you have enough, you'll likely have like a shop where you can trade that currency for those games.
So that's the replay value. I was thinking that they were going to nickel and dime people and have some sort of like system where you could pay to play
store
and get the gems.
I mean, I could see them doing that where you can like hack the process by just buying gems.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think what will end up happening is just like with any like free to play casino style game, you'll be allocated X amount of gems at the very beginning. If you run through them and lose them all, you just go to the cashier and they give you like, here's an extra 1,000 to play again. So you're always able to recycle. And I think you've got the opportunity to always play for free, but maybe they'll do a pay to play option as well.
Nostalgia, check out that super chat. Talk about a deep cut.
Well, 19K Fox, $5 super chat. what about the Arcade1up dartboard? Now he's joking, but realistically, once you have that form factor there, what's how much easier is it to get a dartboard in there?
It's
You
just the
open up the
weird thing.
doors. You open up the doors, the dartboard's there. You close it up when you not want to play. Maybe not so busy like this one is. This is awfully busy. I don't know if you want this outside of your game room with all these
Yeah.
colors and graphics.
Is it just me? Like, don't get me wrong. I think darts are definitely a fun game. But like in my mind, if you're gonna have a dart, some sort of dart game in your arcade room, wouldn't you want like a legitimate dartboard? You don't want like an electronic dartboard, do you?
It could be either or.
But wouldn't you want like the actual dartboard? Like, isn't
You're
that
seeing like dartboards already exist. They already sell them at places. Just
That's
go
what I'm
get the
saying.
ones that are already out there.
that's kind of what I mean? Like, you can get
Yeah.
if you want to spend big money on a dartboard, you can do that. But like buying an Arcade1up branded dartboard would be just weird to me. You're
Well,
not
I don't
going out
think
and finding
it
stuff
would
like
be
this.
digital. I don't think it would be digital if they made one. It would be either real darts or the the non-lethal darts or whatever.
Like the
proper
magnetic
term.
ones.
Yeah, or the ones that stick in through the grid. I mean, but I don't see, like in my scenario, I don't have any walls, so I couldn't put a dartboard up anywhere down here. But if it was freestanding dartboard, I wouldn't mind that.
There's a super chat there from 360, and it's something that we brought up earlier. The Killer Instinct Pro cabinet appears to be back on sale on the website, available now. So that's interesting because it's sold out. I would assume that either these are people that ended up canceling their order, maybe, and they are newly available units.
Shenanigans.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, we were watching a lot of people were watching the numbers pretty closely on Killer Instinct. And I think many of us here were, and they seem to have closed the sale when there was still like 140 left, I want to say. So a lot of people on Facebook were like, how did they sell like 150 overnight? Right. And now earlier today, I did the hack again, add a whole bunch to your cart, and it said there was about 150 available. Yeah, so I maybe they sold. I don't know why they would sell out. Did they market sold out because they wanted to hold out, to see how
You weren't you doing the thing where you can put X amount in a cart and it would say the limit is,
Yeah.
you can only
Typically,
get 100.
a way to do it is add something to your cart. So you just add one thing to your cart, and then you go to Killer Instinct and say, I want 200 Killer Instincts. And then it's all like, you can't do that. You can only have 150.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. Do they have new stock, or are they just finishing out the 500 that didn't sell?
Well, they said they only produced 500. So
Yeah,
if that statement's true, then these 150 are still among the 500. They didn't make 650 because then they'd be lying on their website, right?
So 360's got another super chat there for you. Artificial FOMO. There's actually a marketing term called artificial scarcity, and it's possible they could have used that. But I have another theory, and I begged and pleaded because of how expensive shipping is here to Canada for them to look at an option to sell to a retailer in other countries, so we could avoid direct shipping through Arcade1up. And I wonder if they didn't hold some stock back to try to work with a retailer to make it available in other countries, so people didn't get hit with the shipping and duty charges like we would here in Canada. And anyways, something never worked out. So that stock that they had put aside for that purpose is now back available on the website.
That's actually a very solid argument. I think that's the most likely outside of some sort of artificial demand push.
Yeah.
Right.
This happened.
So 360, thanks for the 2 super chats. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Were
do
you
you
saying
guys remember Golden Axe?
Yeah.
Was sold only directly.
Mhm.
And then we all knew they had plenty available, and it just vanished, sold out. And then all of a sudden they showed up at, I think, the Brick, right? And
Well, the Brick has always had a good relationship with Arcade1up, where they've been able to get those direct-to-consumer cabs for us here in Canada. Only problem was we didn't have a Brick here in Newfoundland right away, so I missed out on the Marvel superheroes like you guys got direct-to-consumer with those great joysticks. That's an awesome cab, by the way, because that wasn't available by the time the Brick got here. But I could have saved some money on burger time. Let's just say that.
So here's the theory. So the timing, let's apply the timing. And I heard this from someone who works for a distributor, that a distributor will buy a set of products, in this case, cabinets, right? And I've heard someone from Arcade1up use this term as well. And then they'll buy them back. And so it's this weird buyback scenario. So here's a theory. They did sell 150 or so Killer Instinct Pro to a distributor who was planning on, working with Target and GameStop to move the final 150. That fell through, and then that same distributor was like, "Hey, we're totally going to buy 5,000 MKs." We're like, "Cool, but take these pros back."
Well, Justin, it could be that. Or it could be that Arcade1up guaranteed the units. So if they reserved, let's say, 150 pieces to that distributor, and that distributor agreed to take it under the condition that if they didn't have enough interest, that Arcade1up would, quote unquote, buy them back at whatever the price is, whether it's the same price that the distributor was going to pay, or maybe even, in favor of the distributor. That's a pretty common thing, especially when you're dealing with products that are, one, very high value, and two, potentially considered a risk to the distributor.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Casinocade. Let's get back to that. Yeah.
Well, I think we've said all we can say about that, unless you have some final words.
Well, there was one thing I wanted to bring up. So there was this really prolific YouTuber that was super insistent that you'd be able to use real money on these machines.
I apologize to you earlier.
I'm not sure who this guy was, why he was so confident, but has it been at all? I mean, when I suggested there's no way that you were going to have to spend real money on this thing to gamble.
No. Let's be
this
clear.
Prolific YouTuber insulted me, tried to embarrass me. I'm just curious if that person would like a slice of humble pie, or
I've been taking a lot of humble pie lately. I'm trying to be a more humble person. So Nostalgia, I again, like I did in my video earlier, apologize. I thought there was a chance there might be online gambling in this. The argument was never whether or not there was 100% going to be online gambling in this. It was the fact that you said it's absolutely beyond a shadow of a doubt impossible. So you were the one who put that argument out there. All I had to prove was there was a slim chance that they could do it. So,
but you didn't, because they didn't, and I was right.
No, but I did. You didn't prove anything. I proved that they could. That's all I had to do.
So much for being humble, Mike. Go ahead, Justin.
Why does the Casinocade have 4 speakers?
Why wouldn't it?
There's 2. Kidding? There apparently are those not speakers at the top?
If those are not speakers and it's just like stickers, that'd be absolutely hilarious.
Because there's speaker wood grills in the base. In that.
So
you see the arcade logo?
Rockets. Yeah.
Right.
So are those flashing lights? Those are flashing lights, aren't they?
They're strobe lights.
Those are strobe lights. Those are not speakers.
I'm not certain, but they did mention something about these extra special lights that go off when you hit jackpots and certain spins. So maybe there is something to that.
Or maybe, what does it say in the description? I think it says something about the sound. So
you know what it is?
It says crisp casino sound.
You know what that is? It's haptic feedback. They've got exciters in there. So every time you hit the bet more button, it vibrates.
Yeah. So you guys that are in business, you know how sometimes buzzwords become a big thing, like when you're going into an event. It seems like crisp is Arcade1up's buzzword going into the CES. All the screens are crisp, the speakers are crisp.
It's so horrible.
Well, that's because they didn't use any of their crisp on the on the Ki Pro and then using the crisp in the Blitz cabinets.
I think
So
when I just joined the stream, you guys were talking about the screen sizes.
yes.
What did they say the confirmed screen size? Was it like a 10-inch and like a 7-inch or a 6-inch? Like, what are we looking at here?
10.1 and 8-inch.
10.1 and 8-inch, and they couldn't have gone with like, you know, a normal sized screen for the main plate.
10.1, it's touchscreen.
It's a touch screen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
the
when
middle
you
one.
swipe through the apps, you're using swipe gestures.
Okay, so it's just like a 10-inch tablet.
It's a tablet.
Okay, gotcha.
It
Interesting.
does say that there's including surrounding flashing / chaser lights around the screen. So there are additional lights that light up somewhere on the Cab 2.
Is that
And,
in
that,
the sizzle
and that
reel?
bezel,
It's
that
in the
bezel
description.
seems
Yeah.
like those top speakers look like those are just drawings, and the real sound's going to come out the bottom.
I mean, Carl, the whole thing's a render.
Can you imagine that?
It's like, hey, the whole cabinet's hollow. It sounds coming out of everything.
There's not even a screen. That's just a picture, and you got to pretend.
I'm actually sad that they didn't include the lever like they did on the Partycade version. So
I
they
know.
have.
That would be
Mhm.
pretty sweet.
So I mean, if you're gonna have the full stand up without the lever, that's a huge like missing piece. Because I remember seeing this only in the box in those pre-pictures, right? Not the full stand up. But I was
Right.
excited about the wallcades. That those Partycades with the lever,
Yeah.
that's fun. I'd rather be doing that.
But these are all modern machines, right? So, like, if you were to
True.
go into a casino and you were to play Wheel of Fortune, a lot of the slot machines don't have the lever. It's
A
very
lever anymore?
specific ones that do. So I
Yeah.
wonder if like they took inspiration from like a real Wheel of
Modern
Fortune
machines.
slot machine, and that one just happened to just have the smack button.
We need
So-
Anthony Vitale to give us his designs of what
Yeah.
it should have looked like.
So, really quickly, I think Nostalgia, you're right. They took inspiration from modern arcade machines, modern casino machines, to say, man, we could save a lot of money and time by not including that lever.
It's,
Well,
it's
I mean, the lever is obviously a point of breakage, right?
Yeah.
And so they'll
Yeah.
definitely get a whole lot of
I-
customer
I-
service calls.
No,
on
no,
that
no,
for
no.
certain.
I completely trust them. They got the people that made the Tron flight stick working on it. It should be fine.
All right, so let's move on to something that we think maybe people are definitely interested as fans of Arcade1up. I know some people are in the crowd that have given up on Arcade1up, but maybe this will win them back. Now, I got a post from someone on Facebook, and this is what they said here. Let's see here. So they said what was announced that it took them 5 years to do a non-integrated riser slanted screen the way it should have been done 5 years ago, and gave us some screw hole covers. Oh, by the way, it give you the same games too. LOL. I think it's silly that people say this. I want it to be more authentic, and then when they give it to you, they go, "Oh, they should have gave it to me 5 years ago or 4 years ago, whatever the case is." You can never satisfy everybody. But I am a huge fan of Pac-Man, and I have the quarter arcades, or which one is it? The one I have that looks just like this.
Quarter arcade. You have the numbskull quarter arcade.
Numbskull, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I bought that, because it looked just like the cabinet. I didn't buy the arcade one-ups because they didn't look like the arcade. I could slide by on certain things, but when it comes to Pac-Man, it's got to look like the real one. So I'm pretty excited about this. What do you guys think about this new deluxe edition, which they say is an expansion of Legacy Classic, which to me sounds like it's just the new Legacy, right?
Let's talk about that. But while we do that, Detroit, they said you've missed a couple super chats.
Okay, sorry.
D-Love, you missed the super chats about the Lions.
Let me slide.
Yeah, guys, can we not talk about the Lions versus the Packers this weekend? You're going to get me and Carl on a racket. I don't want to be there, so.
Well, Paul, thanks for the super chat. The $5 super chat says, "All right, D-Love, what's happening Sunday night? Lions punching their ticket, ending the drought, or what?" Well, just briefly, I'll digress. Detroit doesn't have their destiny in their hands. The Seattle is in if we beat Green Bay, Seattle has to lose. So, so it's a lot of it's a good chance we can get there. We got to win, and they got to lose. So it's possible this weekend. If the Packers win, the Packers are in. If the Packers lose, then Seattle's in. So that's the way that
Yeah,
stands. And
you still need a couple variables. I'm a Packers fan. This has been a really rough season for Packers fans. We haven't had a season like this in a very long time. So I'm hoping for some light at the end of the tunnel. Last time they got in like this in 2010, they won the bowl. So we'll see where things go.
yeah, and both teams are hot
Yeah.
ending up the season, right? So and you're in Green Bay, Lambeau Field. It's a tough place to win. It's going to be freezing cold, no doubt. Hopefully the weather's good because we're actually pretty mild now. So we'll see. Anything can happen on any given Sunday. $2 super chat from 360 again. No rollbacks, no spectate, no buy. So which cabinet you guys think he's
He's
talking
talking
He's
about
probably
Mortal
talking
Kombat.
about Mortal Kombat.
For sure.
Okay, for the legacy or the new deluxe edition. Okay. Well, thanks guys for catching those super chats. So the new deluxe edition. Michael B, I'm gonna start with you because you've always said the cabinet should look more authentic. Is this what you've been looking for? Is
Yeah.
this what you've been waiting on?
100%. I wanted that screen slant since we saw it in the shady Arcade1up.
That's right.
What was the trailer for Pac-Man 40th? The original Pac-Man 40th design had this screen slant. And I 100% know why they didn't do it is because in their mindset, kids were going to be using these. And if you slant the screen like that while the cabinet's up on the riser, it's going to be hard for kids to play it. So, well, there's that. And also they have to put in an extra piece of wood, I guess, to get the screen to go down that way. So maybe not, though. Anyways, I love this. I really went into this year saying, listen, I'm not buying these legacy cabs again for like a third or fourth time. And this impressed me. Like I just bought a Pac-Mania because I was like, hey, I want to play with it online, and it was on sale for $2.99, and I immediately regret my decision because I absolutely want this. So I'm probably going to end up selling my Bandai Namco Legacy, depending on if that's an IPS monitor and depending on what the price point is. So I mean, it looks great. It's everything I've wanted it to be. I think people are still mad that it's not perfect. The art is a little small on the side of the cabinet, which I think is it's a matter of the cabinet being thinner than the original cabinet and them not wanting to stretch or distort the image. So they went with a smaller image. People are going to nitpick it apart. But for me, this is what Arcade1up should have been doing all along. So I think it looks great, and I'm very interested.
Yeah, and I would agree. Now, I would have to disagree with Fox here with the price set. If this is legacy, I think this is just the legacy replacement. They can't call it a legacy because the legacy has a riser, so it has to be a different model. It has to be a different, SKU.
I think
It
it's
can't.
replacing the
Yeah,
legacy, right?
yeah, it has to be replacing the legacy. This is the because you guys call what do you guys call the 299 ones? You guys had a funny name for
Peasant?
it. The peasant, the pagan peasant
The
version.
pagan cabinets.
Those aren't available anymore. If you finding those are just resales. They're not producing those anymore. This is the replacement for the legacy, in my opinion. So that would be the $499 price set. What are you guys thinking? What do you think the price is going to be for this?
I think so.
Yeah, I think the $599 price point is hopefully, sorry, $499, $500 should be where these are at. These are absolutely the replacement for the legacy lines this year. This is their moneymaker cab. If you look at the exact same game list, they're this almost exactly the same game list. So inside, I don't think there's going to be any difference from last year's legacy except for the hardware. I do think when they say crisp 17-inch screen is their version of saying that it's not going to be a TN monitor. And plus, to your point, Mike, that angle would be killer for a TN monitor. If they did not use a TN monitor, if they did, right, like from any angle at that level would be a terrible experience. So it's just that extreme angle. It got me thinking, though, it's like, if they redid Tron at this correct angle, would you rebuy a Tron cabinet that looked a little bit more accurate like this? Because that's
yes and no. I mean, they'd have to go to the next level.
single base, but like this is the slant that a lot of those classic vertical screen arcade games had, including Tron. This is that angle, and then So if they redid it, this is almost like I almost envision redoing my Tron cab like this somehow, because that's that angle slat that looks really beautiful for these classic arcade games.
Yeah, I love the comment you said about the TN monitor in these. It was like, what's the sale pitch? Hey kids, ever play Pac-Man blindfolded? Here's your opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the weekly retro party, John D was in the chat, and I asked, "What does crisp mean?" And his response was, "A TN is not crisp."
That's good to hear.
I hope that's true. I hope that it's not just him having ignorance. He's like, "Oh crap, it is a TN."
In the Fox again, Legacy is a riser cabinet. You can't call two different. These are two different looking cabinets, two different SKUs, come off a different production line. They can't. It wouldn't make any sense to call it the same exact thing.
This is all Fox. The word deluxe doesn't fit in his narrative of like how the price charting works for Arcade1up. He's like, deluxe is reserved. It's like premium. It's like, no,
He's
dude.
trying not to edit it. He wants to use the same graphic. That's a screenshot.
That's right. He's got like 10,000 PowerPoints to update.
I don't know what's going on. Fox has been like self-loathing today. Like we keep explaining to him, yeah, it's $4.99. He's like, I don't believe you. No, something's gonna go wrong. Like this is definitely gonna be $6.99.
36D, another $5 super chat. Thank you. Says B should make an angled screen mod video for Pac-Man.
There you go.
But would you do it for Pac-Man? I don't know what you would update. Are you talking about making the older versions look like this?
Yes.
I don't
Do
think
it
I've
for your
seen
Tron.
too many. Yeah, I guess so. I would do it with Tron if I did it with any of them. But I already have my beautiful S panel that already just sits in there beautifully. But it would be fun to have it at this new extreme angle.
Now, someone has done a slant on one of the cabinets previously. The issue is it opens up that whole top, where the marquee is. You know what I mean? You would have to make a custom board to be able to put there. It wouldn't be a very easy mod unless you have some carpentry skills to make it look good. I think I heard a beep here. Maybe
360. I actually don't have any of the older Pac-Mans. I sold my Pac-Man 1-up, Ms. Pac-Man. It was just one that it was nice to have, and I thought I wanted it, but like I just never played it because it was offline. But all of these are online enabled, so that does get me a little bit excited. Oh, we're hacking something. What are we hacking, Justin?
In the source code of the deluxe cabinets, the code says it's $4.99.
There you go.
Confirmed.
Straight
Done.
to the source.
And then
I
I took a look at it. There's other code in here that's like analytics to send up to Shopify. That's their e-commerce to specify what the user saw, and it's all sending $4.99 price is what they saw, even though it's like technically not visible.
Yeah.
Who knows if that's accurate? It could be the case that is what Arcade1up put for the reservation, and then they said quantity 0, and they said availability out of stock, but maybe that's just a placeholder number. But I will mention I did this on the Infinity Game Board, and the Infinity Game Board is not $4.99, $5.99. There it goes.
It is.
That's
somewhere
free
in here.
shipping on orders over $5.99.
Need to go to the right. It's not scrolling. Sorry. I'm hitting go to the next one and it's not moving. So that's free shipping. Let me just look for the price. There it is. Oh wait, this is the Infinity Game Board. No, this one says $4.99 as well.
Nooner
Oh,
said,
it's the Wheel of Fortune one.
Yeah,
it's the Wheel of
Casinocade
Fortune that was $5.99.
$5.99, correct. So everything else has been $4.99 based on, and so the Klarna looks like it's accurate then. So that was a new thing for me to figure out, that if you can do math, you can find out the price of these cabinets.
So if you checked out Cool Toy's video earlier too, he had the prices there as well. And I asked him, I said, where'd you get the games list and prices? Obviously the games list, I said on my video, I was like, games list not included. It's because I'm not smart enough to click a down arrow apparently. But
me too.
the price list, he did say all information came directly from Arcade1up. He didn't say arcade1up.com.
Dude,
and I
Cool Toy has been in the Illuminati since day one.
Cool Toy has never been in the Illuminati, but I know he's these on their marketing list. Like they have a marketing list that they send information out to, usually Cool Toy, and Retro Ralph used to be on that list. I can't say whether or not he is anymore, but I'm assuming that his video he put out earlier are the accurate prices that maybe he got from Arcade1up directly. So what you see in his video more than likely is the MSRP at this time.
Well, I don't know if any of that's true, but I know you can definitely get some good ROMs from them.
That is definitely true.
All right, now, so my biggest thing would be, do I get Pac-Man or Mrs. Pac-Man? Because I love both of those cabinets, but the Pac-Man just looks perfect. I love the colors on the Miss Pac-Man one.
Yeah.
I've always have, but
So in the original cabinet, I think on the side panel, those ghosts and that line are a little bit lower. Anyways, people were freaking out in the Canadian Arcade1up fan page about it today. So if there's time, hopefully they can make a change with the art. I understand that you don't want to distort your image by stretching it, so it might be a little bit smaller, but maybe you can move those ghosts down so it's a little bit more accurate.
no, I mean, it would be this, because this look almost perfect. So we know Arcade1up doesn't give any absolutely perfect product. So that if that's the small price we have to pay, for the cabinet, I think I can live with it.
Yeah. Well,
but you're right.
Let's stick around. What's the most nitpicky thing you can think of? I can think of a few.
Oh, I've got one. We're gonna get there.
Okay.
Not on this. We're gonna get there. The most nitpicky complaint ever about a cabinet is coming up when we get to one of these.
Now, these coin doors aren't going to be functional, right?
No, these will still be their standard ones that now
Right.
don't light up and aren't functional.
Right. All right. I've never really been a fan of the class of 1981.
It's got an awesome games list. Everybody
Yeah.
loves it that bought one, though.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where it's going to come down to. All of them look great, obviously. It's going to come down to that game list, because they always kind of leave something out of one to make you kind of force your hand to get the other one.
So one of the things Justin talked about in his most recent stream, I believe it was Justin, you can correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm just going to quote from everybody's videos what they say, because that's the best thing to do. So you talked about the fact that one of the big expenses for Arcade1up is coming up with their new form factors. There's a huge expense to that. And I mean, you can see it in these new deluxe models, because 3 of them are using the exact same form factor. So there's some good savings there.
Yeah. John had mentioned that a while back. He said the term he used, and he goes, it's like, it's probably not a good term for it, but they call it a mold. And so they have to pay a designer to draw out there's a couple things. It's the dimensions of the cabinet. And then there's another set of people that have to be paid to figure out how to flat pack it. So it's like, oh, it has this extra board. Where's it going to go? And then how is it going to be positioned in it? Arcade1up doesn't do any of that stuff. They outsource that. It costs money. It's not like there's an employee at Arcade1up that's like, I'm going to figure out how to do CAD or whatever of how to do the design or the manufacture. It's like they work with different people to figure all that stuff out and figure out the cost. But once you pay that cost, you have it set up. And now if you want to, like someone was saying, someone asked me, they messaged me and said, do you think they'll come out with a Marvel versus Capcom 2 in the new Mortal Kombat Deluxe version? Well, who knows, right? But what we do know is they've already figured out how to do that shape. And so it's pretty trivial to say, let's stick different artwork on it and flash a different PCB, but just do it with the same as the MK2. Will they do it? Who knows? But the hard part's over.
I want to see a redesigned Big Blue in like single riser form, and then do all their Capcom stuff in there. So
yeah, but I wanted to see it be 15 feet tall, but just as thin, like a spear.
Yeah, I like it to widen out a little bit and become a pro.
Yeah, I would love to see if they did a Big Blue. Like, it doesn't have to be Street Fighter. I think eventually we'll get a Street Fighter Pro or XL very soon, but it doesn't have to be that. But at some point, do a Capcom cab XL or Pro in that Big Blue form factor. Oh man, that'd be so cool.
So good. I actually have to take off to run some quick errands. So thank you for having me on. See you guys later.
Thanks,
Bye,
man.
B.
Thanks, B. He got out here just before we freed KI2.
When I saw the games list, I will be very honest. I always thought that the way that they were talking, that MK4 was just going to happen. It was going to be on this cab. I was like, they struggle with games to go on the midway cab. That's why they put awful clacks on there. And not everybody hates clacks. I just do. And that's why they put that horrible Paperboy there with the wrong controls. So I was a little surprised when I saw the games list that wasn't there. And Paperboy was still back. But do you know what my nitpicky complaint about this cabinet is yet? Has anybody guessed it?
This particular one here?
Oh, yeah.
Mortal Kombat 2?
Yeah.
The bezel?
Nope.
Nostalgia. I hadn't heard from Nostalgia in a day. What you think?
Well, actually,
Mike is a freaking wild card. I have no idea what the hell the man's thinking.
No.
If you look at Nostalgia's screen, he only has one light color in his area right now, and that light color is reminiscent with what I don't like about this cabinet.
The color of the blue on Raiden?
Yeah. So this has happened ever since the first Midway Legacy cabinet. Instead of doing the accurate Mortal Kombat 2 art, they just applied all this blue to it. And I said when that one came out, I was like, I don't know why they added the blue. I think it's because they went with Mortal Kombat again. They didn't want to use the same art over again, so they just added it. But I don't understand, when you have an opportunity, you're doing a deluxe cab with things so close to the original. You're going to put that blue art back on there that is not arcade accurate. I don't know why you. I know the original is not as colorful, but come on.
I mean, it still looks pretty nice. I'm not a real big fan of Mortal Kombat, but this cabinet looks pretty awesome. Just real quick, 360 $2 super chat. Will we see a MVC2 Deluxe?
No,
before online.
I don't think we'll see another MVC2 until we get a version in XL or Pro. That's my guess. Most likely Pro.
But he's kind of jiving that there's no online, and maybe they'll release some more cabinets that don't have online. But the Deluxe aren't Wi-Fi enabled, correct?
No, they are.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
But just for leaderboards, right? Are you not playing it? Can you play people on the Legacy?
Yeah, like the last MK that came out was the first MK to have online play. Now it's not perfect. There's a lot of problems with it. There's no spectate mode, which I really hope changes with this release. And I don't know what net rollback is. I'm not down with that terminology, but that's another one people complain about. I'm not hacker man like you guys. I'm just buy man.
Well, I can probably tell you this now. If this comes out, or when this comes out, don't go rush out and buy it, because Sam's Club is going to get it with the stool, and it's going to be the same price or less. So, because that's what they did with the original one, right?
Yeah, here's something interesting. People, I hadn't looked at it myself, but a couple people commented. If you go back to the Arcade1up Mortal Kombat 30th Anniversary Edition, the assembled dimensions for the width is 19.75 inches. So that's Mortal Kombat 30th Anniversary, 19.75 for the width. Whereas the Deluxe says it's 23.46 wide. Is that right?
Yep.
But is that counting the control panel, because it extends further out compared to the prior
Maybe,
ones?
but I think you can see it there. A lot of the complaints about Arcade1up's cabinets in the last little while, especially with the fighter cabs and the little ridges on the side, is that there's not really enough hand room for your control stick or even on your buttons on the other side. So if they've made the cabinet a little bit wider to accommodate a better control panel experience, I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen 23 inches wide, right? Yeah. On this design. And then it's 61 inches tall, whereas the MK30th was 57.8. So it's a few inches taller.
So here's the big question. Since if it's $4.99, are any of these deluxe cabinets would be on your must-buy list? Nostalgia. Let's start with you.
No, unfortunately not. I do think these are the best iterations of each of the cabinets that they put out. The designs look good. The unibody looks really good, even though it's not really a unibody, but you know what I mean, without the risers. Honestly, my favorite thing that they've implemented in this round is the stupid screw plugs. It's just something so small, just puts a nice bow on the whole package. It just really makes the machine look that much better.
Yeah, so, I will tell you guys, Nostalgia is a big plug fan. When I was around him in Ottawa, he had a magazine called B Plug Magazine. I don't know what that's about.
You know exactly what that was about, Mike.
So, Justin, any of these on your must-buy list? If they're priced right?
Yeah, I think I have to admit I'm really thinking about getting one of the Namco machines. I'm probably gonna do it. I don't need it, but I can afford it, so I'm probably gonna get it.
Yeah.
Partly out of curiosity, partly out of this is more definitive. And I've been looking for Pac-Mans in my area, like full-size Pac-Mans, and I just can't find them in good quality. And for me, it's like if I can't, I don't mind buying the Arcade1up version. I just don't know which version it would be. Definitely the screw hole covers. I swore they were going to be that's pro only, and it wasn't until recently. Yeah, it wasn't until recently that I looked back at the Golden TXL videos that we did, and I noticed that. Oh wait, yeah, the Golden TXL had the grill covers. I was like, oh, that's good. That's better than the Legacies. And here it is. Then they added it to these deluxe versions. I was like, wait a second. And I think 19K Fox is going to go with this. He does not want to call these deluxe because he came up with that name, and he doesn't want to admit that Arcade1up stole his name. So I think he's going to call them Pro Minis.
I hope he does.
Pro Minis.
What about,
we also
Legacy,
need
Legacy Plus.
Legacy Plus. We definitely need a good mock name for these cabinets. Like, I can't think of anything right now. Like, the Casinocade needs a really, like, I don't know, ashtray cade or something. It needs.
You will just have to ask
name.
AI.
I'm going to do that right now. Continue.
Michael B, I know you'll buy all 6 of them. There's only 4.
No. I won't buy Class of 81. 100% won't buy Class of 81. I haven't bought it. I said I wasn't going to buy Class of 81. To this day, I still haven't bought Class of 81. And I'm not going to buy this version of Class 81. But I will admit, the only thing that could save me from replacing 100%, I'm going to replace the Mortal Kombat 30th. I'm going to sell that and get the MK2. MK2, and like, I'm going to be very careful saying this because I know people love MK1, but the MK2, not the game necessarily, but the side art is very iconic to me. And it's one of those games I always wanted to have in my home. So I'm very happy to see MK2 in this great form factor and more arcade accurate. So that's probably going to replace my MK30th. And the other reason too is the crisp screen. The crispness is what's important there, because the screen on the MK30th wasn't crisp. It was actually a little bit soggy. So the crisp screen on the new MK Legacy is definitely speaking out to me. The other one too is, I've talked about it, I love my Miss Pac-Man cabinet, but really at this point, because of my Bandai Namco Legacies, there's only one game on my Miss Pac-Man that I play, and I don't have those online leaderboards, which actually do excite me about playing the cabinets. So there's a good chance I'll probably sell my Gen 1 Miss Pac-Man and go with this one. So I would say 2 for sure, and maybe the yellow Pac-Man as well. I'm just going to openly admit, I'm addicted to buying these things. If they're better, I want the better version. I can't help myself. The only thing that would save me is if I had some idea about future XL and Pro releases coming out this year, because I would much rather save my money if I knew there was something in the near horizon similar to this in an XL or Pro size, because That's really what I want. But here we are.
Yeah, and you shared a picture with me earlier with your 2XLs and your Pro together. They definitely do look nice. You had something on the far right or left that was tiny compared to the three. So I see where you're trying to go with that. You would like the taller caps. I have the Pro, and that size is awesome. I didn't think that I would need a Pac-Man that big, right? Or it didn't, but now that you say it, yeah, it would be nice if I had this exact replica or of Miss Pac-Man or Pac-Man with the Pro, with that sturdiness, with the slanted screen, everything else being authentic, with the push for coin. That would be pretty awesome to have.
So earlier today, OTG posted on Twitter a picture of his NBA Jam next to his KI Pro, and I finally, now that my KI Pro is assembled, I put it out in my overflow arcade where I had my 2 other XL cabs, and you just notice the difference of those bigger cabs. Like, it's just something about it. It looks better. It's a better experience playing them. I want big, so.
Okay.
A $2 super chat from 360 Crispy K's.
Crispy cake.
So crispy.
So I asked AI to come up with some names. I said funny names, and I gave some examples of what things that are funny.
Sharing
And
screen.
for the Casinocade, I'm just gonna read it.
Okay.
It said, how about Casino Tot, Lucky Little Casino, Fortune Tyke, Jackpot Junior. Jackpot Junior is great. I think it thought I was, because I said Baby Cade is an example. I said Arcade1up Junior, and Baby Cade is the funny name. So Mini Vegas was another one. Pocket Casino, Casino Cub, Lil Gambler.
Little Gambler.
Right.
Little
Yeah.
Gambler's the best.
Arcade Little Gambler. That's
My first gambling.
Betting,
my little Gambo.
Baby Betting Bonanza.
That's the one. That's the winner.
Anyway. Wow,
Oh, that's too funny.
ChatGPT is so good.
It's the best. It's the best. I'm going to go back to the plugs on these things. And I know I've said that it's the best thing. I'm all about plugs. Mike knows about this.
Big
But
plug guy.
I actually genuinely appreciate that they went this route, because it's a really small thing and it does nothing for Arcade1up except cost them money, right? Like, this isn't going to benefit them. They're not going to sell 50% more cabinets because of those plugs. Those plugs don't do anything different except for make the people who are going to buy the plug or the machines happier with the final product. So
yeah,
it's just like, that's like a really good thing to do, right?
So what's the cost of 17 blue plugs compared to a tin sign? Probably equal to Arcade1up. People are going to be happier with the plugs than they are the tin sign. So that's a better value add.
Yep.
Yeah, hopefully all of the cabinets going forward have those screw hole caps. It just makes the cabinet look so much better. Well, guys, we're over an hour now. Hey, I appreciate you guys coming on, supporting the channel, having some great conversation. We could talk about this stuff forever. Probably will still be talking about it once we go off the air.
There might not be anything else to talk about for the rest of the year, so get ready, guys. Think it up. Was this crispy enough for you?
Now, Justin, you have a show going on tonight, 10:30? Is that
No.
the case? No. Okay.
No show tonight. Just hanging out with you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I appreciate you guys. What's going on over here? Oh, in the private chat, just make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, it was just a game list, which I neglected to see until now. But Michael B covered all that. All right, guys. So we're going to get out of here. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for all the super chats, guys. I appreciate that more than I can say. And until next time, guys, I'll see you on the web.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for watching Detroit Love. Please subscribe to the channel. Like and share the video. We want to see and read your comments below. And until next time, I'll see you on the web.
Oh, that makes me uncomfortable.
More than butt plugs?